There's something important I wanted to touch on, which is about how the things that people attract into their lives, whether it be other people, circumstances, experiences, things, how that tends to be a reflection of what the person has going inside themselves. So this whole concept of how kind of like attracts like, which I believe in, and how that explains a lot of what goes on in the narcissist life in terms of the way they live, the circumstances that they tend to attract to themselves, the drama, chaos, and all of that. So I really do believe that if someone is constantly in a mental space, in an emotional state of feeling kind of worthless, insecure, incompetent, that the things that people will kind of say to you, the kind of circumstances that arise, will tend to reinforce those things in you. In other words, whatever you have kind of going on within yourself and in your core attracts outward circumstances that kind of reflect that. That's a compatible match to that. On the flip side, if your predominant state is one of kind of being more hopeful, of being more kind of chirpy, you tend to be more satisfied with life. You can see the bright side of things. If you tend to be more kind of positively oriented, then the things that come into your life tend to reflect that. Maybe people tend to compliment you a lot on yourself, maybe your work, maybe you meet a lot of nice people, maybe situations arise which reinforce your confidence in yourself. The bottom line being that, if you have those good things going on within yourself, then you tend to attract things that are kind of compatible with that are, I guess, an energetic match to that which you have going inside yourself. Some people will say it's just like the law of attraction. Some people will say, what you put out, you get back. What goes around comes around. I mean, there are many ways of kind of looking at this whole kind of concept of what you have going on in your core tends to manifest itself and match up with things in your outside world. But the bottom line is, I do believe that I've noticed it in my own life and the life of other people consistently, that what's going on inside that person emotionally, spiritually, even kind of what's really going on deep inside, things that happen and surface in their outside world tend to kind of match up with that. And if we take that into a scenario with a narcissist who's chronically feeling insecure, worthless, having these kind of deep shame feelings within, and also narcissists have this, tend to have an ongoing feeling of paranoia, thinking that people are out to get them, thinking that things will just go wrong. They just have, they just live in that kind of state. And if you've known narcissists, you'll realize that. So narcissists tend to attract situations that tend to reinforce that the paranoia that they have within themselves. They tend to, they just go out and about. It takes next to nothing for somebody to say or do something that puts them in their place of kind of insecurity. And then the narcissist overcompensates for that by trying to put other people down to make themselves feel better, which in turn pushes people away from them, which when you push people away from you, you don't have people close to you. That reinforces another feeling that the narcissist has within themselves, which is the chronic feeling of loneliness, because they just can't have it all ways. They can't try to put people down and then have healthy people around them. The few healthy people that the narcissist does tend to keep around long term are people who they've weakened to the point where the people have just become the narcissist enablers in a way. People who the narcissist, it could be a long-term spouse, for example, who the narcissist they've completely depleted, and the person doesn't have the strength to go away, and the person, the spouse themselves maybe have thought, what, this is my life now, I can't do anything. So that person has reached a point where their own kind of inner self, they're feeling worthless, they're feeling insecure, they're feeling they deserve nothing, the spouse. So now they're almost a compatible match with the narcissist, which has similar feelings. And the spouse is too weak to kind of balance out of that. So in a way, the narcissist created somebody who's become like a hollowed out eggshell. And they've done that to make that person compatible with a narcissist. So narcissists can only really have people in their lives kind of long term who reinforce, who are compatible, or some kind of a compatible match to what goes on within the narcissist. And if you think about it, you'll probably, and if you've known narcissists, you might see what I'm saying. Um, so just kind of taking all that into account, it becomes more easy to understand why the narcissists are always inviting chaos and drama into their lives, because the narcissists are always experiencing deep inner turmoil. They're always experiencing deep inner chaos. And that's just what goes on within themselves. And they can't really put those feelings aside. They don't know how to. That would require lots of personal growth and healing their inner wounds, which are things that the narcissists just generally are unable to do, because the whole disorder of NPD is a person who have adopted maladaptive coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms to prevent them from actually having to to address their inner core wounds and vulnerabilities and things like that. So when things are going on around the narcissist that are too when things are going on too well with the people around them, there's situations, and let's say things are just kind of calm, that unnerves the narcissist, because there's this mismatch between the inner turmoil that goes on within them and the outside world, which just seems peaceful. So the narcissist, then, they cannot help, it's subconscious, but they cannot help but try to create some kind of drama somewhere, some kind of chaos. And you can't just go out and create drama and chaos in anybody's life, because some people just look at you like, are you silly? Are you stupid? What are you doing? But what the narcissist tries to do is they try to find certain people, certain targets, certain supplies, which are sufficiently within a certain kind of, they try to identify people who are somehow a match to that chaos that they want to drive. Maybe they think, okay, this person, if I say or do something to put this person down or to make this person insecure, they won't look at me like I'm stupid and walk away. They'll actually take it to heart and maybe try to fix the situation. And then that'll start driving them crazy. And the narcissist kind of spots people like this, and that's what they want. They want people who will play ball with that chaos and turmoil that they're trying to that they can't help but want to stir up. And people who are unaware of narcissism and things like that often find themselves giving too much airtime to these toxic people, and they themselves kind of get drawn in this whirlwind of unwanted things. So just looking at everything, you can really see that narcissists attract people and circumstances into their lives, which tends to be a strong reflection of what goes on within them, which are things like deep-rooted feelings of shame and worthlessness, insecurities. They're very paranoid all the time. That's a deep-rooted feeling they have. Chronic loneliness. So the things, the way they behave, the things they attract into their lives, it really does reinforce those things. And they're trying to find people who are somehow a compatible match to all those things within themselves, and who are willing to play ball. And a lot of people who kind of get pulled into the gravitational pull of the narcissist don't realize what they're getting themselves into at first. So it's really important, once you've been through the ringer once or twice with a narcissist, that you start to heed to the red flags and keep away from these people. And if you're not happy with what's going on in your own life, then to work on yourself, because some people are unable to really improve their deep core wounds or their issues and achieve growth, personal growth. But hopefully you'll recognize in yourself the areas that can be improved, and you're willing to take that step to try to improve yourself, such that you do attract better things and better people into your life. Kind of even sometimes taking 10-15 minutes a day just to kind of relax, do deep breathing exercises, kind of let all the worries and problems go. Just try to feel that feeling of worthiness and well-being just a little bit every day. If you can kind of just take small steps like that, you're already kind of shifting your emotional state and into a better place, which then means you start to attract better things and better people into your life. And when you start thinking more positively and leaning more in a more positive direction, then better things start to manifest in your life. And occasionally something might happen, that does stir up some trouble or issues. But just instead of kind of getting drowned into the storm of the problem, just try to bounce out of it quickly and just kind of think, what kind of learning lessons can I take from this? What has this taught me about myself, and how can I change myself going forwards to to be a better person and to attract better things? So that's something that I really do believe, that what goes on within people, kind of in their core, the things that manifest in their lives physically tends to reflect that. And people like narcissists, they're always reflecting very kind of negative, chaotic things. And that's because that's a reflection of what goes on within them. And then you should ask yourself, okay, what kind of things and what kind of people have I been attracting in my life lately, in the past many months, years? And if you start asking that question to yourself and you pay attention, you might, based on what you're attracting into your life, you might get some insights into the areas of yourself that you yourself can improve to go forward. Because we all have more power over ourselves in our lives than we think, and to tap into that and to make things better, it all starts with just kind of realizing that, and realizing that, yeah, we don't control everything, we don't control all people, but we have some control. Maybe not 100% control, because we're influenced by the things, but we do have some control over how we feel and our emotional state. And we should always just try to make ourselves feel just a little bit better. You can't go from feeling despair to feeling bliss in 5 minutes. It's really difficult to do that. But if you take those baby steps and with the intent to try to feel a little bit better, then you're already going in the right direction, which is to feel better yourself, and then subsequently attract better things and better people into your life.